How's it going, my peoples? I hope you're having as great a day as I am. But it's almost morning now because it is 11:35, and if not for daylight savings, I would be getting home at essentially 1 in the morning. Physically, we're feeling at, I want to say, a solid 7.9, just because I feel like 8 is just too big. But it was a really solid session. Felt really, really good. All my body parts were in sync today. The mobility felt good. The power felt good. But more than that, we had a rare occurrence today. Mentally, we are at a 9. We do not see anything above an 8.5 that often. And it was a great one when it comes to the brain today. And I want to... It's partly because I had some good gym homies there today. But it was definitely more because of how crazy of a day I had in general and why I ended up at the gym at fucking midnight to 1 in the morning. So just to get on the topic about it, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about what the best time to get to the gym at is for you, you know? Always depends on the person. But I'm just going to kind of shoot the shit about how I do it and what makes me feel good, and then give kind of my overall take on how I feel most people can find a good time for them if they feel that they are going at the gym too erratically without plan, or just, you know, letting work consume their day and letting the gym, you know, fall short, and then you go at like 2 in the morning and then you hate yourself because you can't really work out that well the next day because it is the next day. But anyway, in my experience, I always go to the gym anytime between 3 and 6 p.m. And this kind of just depends on how much work I have. So when I say the time to go to the gym, it's not just a single hour, you know? It's going to be a pretty broad amount of time, but it's a certain part of the day, you know? For me, this is when I've gotten my schoolwork done. I have hopefully gotten a shift of work done. And if I haven't gotten a shift of work done, I am going to the gym slightly earlier, around 3 to 4, to go work at night. And so the way that I see it is everybody's, like, quote-unquote perfect time of the day to go to the gym isn't based on the time of day. I know there's a big thing where, like, either there's young people who can thrive at night because fucking full moons or whatever the shit that is, or I'm 20 and I don't experience that kind of shit, but tonight was a bit of an experience, to be honest, but we'll get into that. God, I'm already going on a tangent, my boys. I have an issue. I don't think it's about going when the moon's full or when the sun is perfectly vertical in the sky and it's like the peak amount of, like, you know, some people will say that, like, when the sun is perfectly in the middle at noon, in the middle of the day, that's when, like, that's your peak, you know, like, that's when you should be going, you know, that should be like your peak physique, you know. If anybody's seen 7 Deadly Sins, the anime, you know what I'm talking about, you know. I don't think the time of day has anything to do with it. I solely believe that your perfect time is going to be based a lot on how you function with your work, school, and or social life. Because for me, I'm not getting social unless it's, like, very rarely a tailgate, which, again, I typically don't even go to. Or otherwise, I'm hanging out with people at night. You know, the morning is for getting schoolwork done. I got to make sure I'm eating my meals, showering, all that shit. Early afternoon is hopefully for work. If not, the evening is for work, and then the mid-afternoon is for the gym. And if I get work done earlier, then the gym is for the night, towards 5, and then finishing around 8 p.m. For me, this has just always felt the best because of how comfortable and natural it feels in my schedule. You know, you don't want to do something erratic, like I was talking about a minute ago, where you're just going to base the gym off of, like, oh, well, fuck it. I get off work at very different times every night because I'm a waitress and sometimes they hold me back or some shit like that. And I'm just going to go whenever they let me go. And this is, I think, why a lot of people will go in the morning. It's not because they typically want to, but they just become disciplined enough to adhere to their schedule. And then once you gain the habit, I think it takes like 3 weeks statistically, 3 weeks to a month to gain like the full habit and it feeling like supernatural to do. But once you get used to it, when melding it with your work schedule, your school schedule, your social schedule, once it just kind of sits there perfectly every single day and it doesn't get in the way of anything else, it's kind of just your time to go just be. It's like, it feels like a different dimension in a way, you know, like the gym sometimes doesn't feel real. It's my place to go forget about life. You know, I don't have assignments when I'm at the gym. I don't, as morbid as this may seem, I don't have a girlfriend when I'm at the gym, unless she's there with me. This I don't mean in the sense that I don't want to be around her, but it's just, that's what I mean when it's like a different dimension. It feels like I teleport away for a while and everything disappears. I don't have to think about anything other than ooga booga, throw that big ass weight over my head. You know, just having fun, unadulterated, personal fun for my own individual benefit. On the other hand, like tonight, there are some very rare times. This is why I think people end up coming with up with random shit, kind of like with programming, where they'll just like end up hitting one good week on a program and think that something works, like it's a godsend. Like some people think certain times of the day are a godsend because they had some certain experience happen to them. And again, it might work for them, but it's probably more because of their schedule. But for me, today, my girlfriend just moved to Alabama. We're doing great, by the way. I know yesterday was Jesus, I forgot about yesterday was me talking about being lonely, but we're doing fucking phenomenal now. I told you, like, I'm great at bouncing back, and she's done excellently, so that makes it even better for me. But she's gone, so I don't have someone to cuddle waddle at night for my personal physical needs, and you know, not even anything sexual. It is so unbelievably different sleeping alone after you've gotten so used to like holding on to a human body. If you know, whoever's got that experience, I'm not gonna judge if you do or you don't, but if you do, you know. And when they aren't there, you feel cold, you feel alone, more than that, you don't feel like, for at least for me, my body feels less of a need to try to go to sleep, and also feels less of a need to go back to bed in the morning when I wake up early. And typically I could sleep in a good bit if I had like the morning free, just to make sure I get a little bit of extra energy. Right now, I am working on 3 hours of sleep. I stayed up till 3 in the morning last night, scrolling through my phone like a fucking brainwashed bitch. And I hated it. I hated every second, but I couldn't stop because I had nothing else to do, and I didn't want to play video games because my head hurt. So up till 3, opened my eyes at about 6 to 6:30, and I was like, oh, wonderful. Alarm didn't even go off. Had my alarm set for 8. I can go back to sleep for a couple hours. I literally, shit you not, I could not force my eyes to go back closed. It was so saddening. So I literally had to just force myself up and just go get my fucking day started at 6 in the morning when I had nothing planned until like 11. So I know some people think like, oh, now you have so much time to get extra shit done. I'm gonna literally, after I brush my teeth and shower and eat, I'm gonna be doing bullshit. Like I like my schedule the way it is, and I am not gonna be doing work at 6 in the morning just because I woke up at that time. So anyway, 3 hours of sleep, pretty fucking dead. You know, I was slightly in my feels this morning because, you know, I missed the lady. But more than that, I had an exam today for statistics, which is, you know, not bad. I've taken stats before. Like, I was kind of chilling. I know the shit. But it's online, which is horrible because you can procrastinate as much as you want. And the only grade in the class are our exams. So I essentially haven't done anything in the class for 3.5 weeks and learned everything today, which did successfully do. But I opened my computer at 10:30 in the morning, and I closed my computer at 9 p.m. after I finished my exam and studying all day, which was fucking abysmal. What was an even bigger kick in the dick was I finally finished my test, looked at my web courses, and found out I had the Spanish assignment due in the same night. So I had to cook, do homework, and then get ready for the gym all at the same time in order to not get back home at 1 in the morning. Which, again, did successfully. And although this may seem as a horrible day to most people, and it normally would be, because I was on schedule with everything and very, driven to get my shit done in a good, productive mood, I literally was able to just ride the adrenaline alone from that productivity, regardless of my physical degradation throughout the day. And I just rode that shit out. Me and my roommate put on Shameless for 6 hours and just studied the whole time, did not move. And I just went straight to the fucking gym. And so it has technically been about 14-ish hours of nonstop moving and bustling down. And again, the main reason tonight worked so well was not because I was so much physically in it. And by the way, physically I was great, but it probably would have been an 8.5 to a 9 physical kind of day if I had gone around 5 p.m. like I normally do. So I'm very lucky in the first half of that of why it went well, but otherwise, I have talked about this before. If your physical energy is low, but you got a bomb ass mental energy, you can do fucking anything. Of course, it's gonna hurt a little bit, and your core might explode at some point. But if you see it on my last clean and jerk rep, my whole core just completely gave out when I caught the clean, and fucking mentality, bitch. I muscled my way through that as hard as I could. So if you have a crazy day like that, like I'm describing, just know that either one, it just fits your schedule, or two, you just got really fucking lucky and had one of the best mental energy days or one of the best physical energy days. Can't be biased. You could have a really, really, really bad mental day and still have peak physical prowess, whatever the fuck, I'm trying to bring out my English, and still make it. But more times than not, if your physical energy is low, if your physical energy is high as shit, but your mental is low, you have a much higher chance, in my opinion, on failing that workout because you're not passionate and driven enough to do it. And tonight, the physical wasn't as high as I wanted it to be, but I probably meant physically I was more like a 6.5, but god damn it, the mental can just make a fucking illusion and a half about it. It's great. So just don't think too hard about it, have fun with it. If you want to change up when you go, do it. Be experimental. It's going to change. Mine will probably change at some point. But again, the best time to go, in my opinion, is probably going to be when you have literally nothing else going on in your day, because it's going to feel like the most natural transition, and it's a place where you can go escape from the world and just turn your phone off and just enjoy you. So whoever needed to hear it, go enjoy you, damn it. If you want to go work at 1 in the morning because that's when your peak physical abilities come out, god damn it, go be a werewolf. Fuck it, be the only guy there. But I'm going to keep going at 5 p.m. and enjoying my night. So hope that put anything into perspective. I know this was kind of a wacky conversation, but I just, it's on topic and I felt like going off a little bit. So have a good night otherwise. See ya.